This next story on Women Up, one of my podcasting, I actually talked about on my Broadcasters podcast over the last couple of weeks about the fact of how we're still waiting for movies to come back. But we're having an issue where when we know that the cinemas are not making their way back in full force coming up, well, the streaming services are now taking the opportunity to go ahead and spend some big bucks to get these movies onto their channels at a special fee. A couple of stories to talk about that right now. So let's go into it. First of all, from MovieWeb, a couple of stories. No Time to Die. MGM is looking to go ahead and possibly bring the movie to exclusively streaming. And there were early reports that said that MGM was looking for $600 million to stream No Time to Die. New revelations claim it was a whole lot more. So John Fuge talks about this in MovieWeb, is that $600 million for the rights to stream the movie, with both Apple TV and Netflix reportedly offering bids. The studio is actually wanting upwards in $800 million for the feature, but there were no takers. Amid the ongoing global circumstances and theater closures, the studio may eventually relent and look to shop the movie around for a streaming release. Ultimately, the final decision must be approved by the James Bond series producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, whose general thoughts on the matter were summed by an unnamed producer. It's MGM's golden goose, but it's the Broccoli's platinum goose. Now, we know that the movies had several delays to release. Due was in November 2019, but if it wasn't bad enough, the director recently admitted that the movie could have been delayed even further if things did not improve. Going from worse to even worse, recent reports revealed the heavy cost of movie delays, with loans taken up by MGM in order to make No Time to Die, costing the studio $1 million a month in interest. They financed the movie with a large loan, which is typical of many big budget movies, but the ongoing delays to release have meant that interest is going to build up and will not be paid off until the movie hits screens. MGM is suffering. And also in the story, they say that, quote, every major distributor at this point has a pile of unreleased expensive movies. The pile grows larger by the day. These films are inventory. They are sitting here with no return on their investment. Even with low interest rates, the internet costs are piling up. So the streaming route is not that crazy. You spent the money and you're not getting it back anytime soon. So now we're hearing about the tentpole movies about the possibility they might go ahead and do this. So here's what we got. Another movie could be Godzilla vs. Kong. Warner Media might make a big decision to release it ahead of its scheduled release next year. And that it could be on either Netflix or HBO Max, which Warner Brothers is part of. And it could be likely that the movie will be watched from the comfort of home sometime next year. A new report says Netflix offered in the neighborhood of $200 million for the streaming rights to Godzilla vs. Kong. Again, Netflix and these others, they're going to just take it, put it out there as part of the subscription for the service, and they're not going to offer a premium tag, which is also interesting as well. Unlike Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, which do put price tags on their movies. So when Borat decided to be released last month, same thing happened. And then you had other movies that have come out, say Trolls World Tour, that also came out with a premium price, and Mulan that just came out on Disney Plus on a premium price of $29.99 to rent, not to own. Keep that in mind. So with that, we have Wonder Woman's 1984 streaming release being bad news for Disney Plus. So we already know. If you didn't know this, we're going to tell you right now on the program this past week, Wonder Woman 1984 is now going to be available for free to HBO Max subscribers for 1 month. So Disney Plus is now in a quandary and a conundrum because they're offering to subscribers new releases for a price. The movie originally was going to come out December 13, 2019. Then it got pushed to November 1st so it wouldn't compete with Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Then Wonder Woman 1984 got moved to June 5th, 2020. The studio wanted to do a summer release, but then COVID-19. So the first Wonder Woman made $820 million. So right now they're looking to find out how much you can make by doing it this way. Well, here's what they're doing right now. The sequel is expected to do even better, possibly making the $1 billion mark. But after Tenet, which was expected to do similarly well in theaters this year, ended up losing money, Warner Brothers decided to reverse the strategy pioneered by Disney Plus with Mulan. Disney Plus charged U.S. subscribers $29.99 for premium access to Mulan before making the film available to all subscribers. But again, Wonder Woman 1984, will be out for free as part of the subscription. God, I cannot talk right now. While Disney Plus has a $6.99 monthly subscription fee, it's less than half the price of HBO Max. It's likely that HBO Max will have a massive surge in subscribers over Christmas week and through the month of January, and they're counting a lot of these subscribers to stick around. Well, unfortunately, this means I'm going to probably have to buy popcorn, not pop cooked, because I'm not going to be cooking it and, stinking up the house at nights when I'm going to watch a new movie. So I'm going to have to watch it from home, sure, but I won't get to enjoy the normal concessions and the normal trip to the movie theater like I have. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but if they're going to bring Wonder Woman here, as far as I know, I have heard nothing back. It's 4 weeks from now. I've heard nothing back about Christmas weekend if my Regal theaters are coming back, and I don't feel like going to another movie theater. There are other movie theaters open right now, but they're not going to be open late. So I might just stick to, staying at home to watch Wonder Woman 1984. That's where we are. But again, keep that idea right there. Might be an ongoing trend to see more movies get bought up by streaming, because instead of stacking them up all throughout 2020, which is the original plan, or 2021, but then what's happening is there are so many movies that are stacked up next year, and if the movie theaters are not going to be back in full force, which hopefully would be the first things to come back once the vaccine comes into play, maybe there'll be less social distancing, maybe we'll still have masks, but maybe that'll give us a reason to go back to the movies. And if that's the case, then let's get back to it so we're going to start watching again. But it's unfortunate that Regal had to shut it down because there weren't enough people showing up. And they're not deciding to open back up yet, or at least there's been no announcement yet because of the fact. So I don't know what they're going to do. But this concerns me. And I like my Regal Cinema. I don't feel like driving out to another theater to watch the movies, but I don't know what they're going to do next. I have no clue. Keep that in mind. Might be an interesting story to see movies like this coming up, that they might go on to a streaming service near you. Now, some of you are going to like it, but me liking to watch the movies on a big screen with a big sound system, it's going to be tough not to have that. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I'll keep you updated on this as always. All the movie talk I always have right here on when I'm not podcasting. Or you can also check out when I do talk about this as well on my Broadcasters Podcast. Website is broadcasterspodcast.com. I'll leave it there. Talk to you next time.